Hey guys, 8.13 is going to be a 3-week patch. So 8.14 will drop in about 2 weeks from today. We've got 8.13b releasing today though, which has a few AD changes designed to get the weaker ones back into the meta properly and a few other things. Let's catch you up to speed on 8.13b, which is live right now, and what to expect for 8.14 too. Also, I'm giving away a SteelSeries Arctis Pro headset on my stream today. If you fancy coming over to chill out and maybe win that, there is also a link to the keyboard and mouse one below as well. So as I said, 8.13b is focused on AD carries, but also the top of the jungle role, like the top tier ones, and some Aatrox. For AD carries, Varus to start with, his Q minimum AD ratio is going to be up 10%, so this is for his arrow, and the max AD ratio is going to be up 15% when it's fully charged. The bonus magic damage on your W is also going to be slightly increased. Rank 1 eventually goes back to the same rank 5, and magic damage per stack is now going to be a 1% higher rank 1. These are actually really good. Like, yes, I do kind of love Varus, so I'm a little bit biased, but whatever you're going to build, it will actually help. More, it's going to be the percentage damage though. You max this second normally, but you won't get it maxed until level 13. So definitely until like level 8 before you start putting extra points into that. It is an extra 1% per stack. So that is 3% per combo. And if you layer it all perfectly, an extra 9% of their maximum health gone in a full rotation. To be fair, it's probably actually more like 6% in a normal fight. Like, I can make it sound really good at 9% extra, but most of the time you're going to get extra 6% really. But that's still really good. Qmax is actually something that I have been trying a bit more recently, and the burst is nuts, especially if you activate your W with it. It is going to be better with AD, so you can go other builds if you want to, but I actually think honestly maxing your Q into W with an AP build would probably be enough to make Varus actually viable and good again. Kaitlin was kind of forgotten about with all of these changes. She's been kind of trash honestly for a little while, but she's getting 2 changes. Well, one in 8.13b, your headshot damage is going to be increased, and by quite a lot actually, and for 8.14 they might actually increase her QAD ratio as well at later ranks. To start with, this was actually just the QAD ratio, which isn't really that massive. Like, the 20% increase rank 5 is past the lane phase, right? So you can't push any harder, and it's a bonus AD ratio anyway. Bonus AD ratio means better with items, which we can't really get to. It wouldn't have helped that much anyway. We probably would have lost by that point. Thankfully, this kind of looks like an extra buff if it's needed in 8.14, but I don't know if she will. 8.13b increases her headshot damage by a ton. Going from 50% to 100% is already a massive increase. It does scale with levels, by the way, so it's not crazy early. Your headshot is going to hit like a truck mid to late game now, which is so much nicer. It also scales with crit even better, 150% of it instead of 100%. So I think we'll see some Kaitlin come back with a 100% crit build more than ever. I would guess from this, you would want to go like Storm Razor, Rapid Fire Cannon, Infinity Edge, and then probably a Shiv or something like that to go to 100% crit. That would increase your headshot damage a lot, but it would also make every single auto attack hurt even more. I don't know if it will be like enough. Remember a while ago they nerfed the early laning phase, they buffed her scaling. It was fine back then, but when games go faster, that's not a good thing anymore. And now the risk might be worth it. If you can kind of like survive through the first few levels and stuff, like you don't fight too much, she will stand a much better chance now to hard carry the game later. Now, Tristana is the last AD getting some changes. She had some buffs to her explosive charge AD ratio in 8.13, and they didn't really do too much. These 8.13b ones though are probably enough to bring her back to at least a half decent level now. The Q is going to help your laning and mid game just a little bit with the extra attack speed. You can like push harder, you can trade a little bit better, you could even stack press the attack faster if you go for that. Overall now in 8.13 though, you'll stack your explosive charges like faster with more attack speed. You can use it more often now, it costs less mana, and it does more damage. It's kind of hard to keep Tristana balanced. She's either like really good or pretty bad. I doubt this will make her insane, but it will make her better again. So there are 2 item changes, kind of for AD carries as well. Brawler's Glove is going to be 200 gold cheaper, and the Storm Razor recipe is going to be different. It's same total cost, but 2 daggers, BF sword, and a pickaxe. The Storm Razor is really like quality of life, mostly helping you if you can't quite afford to purchase it completely. You get an extra dagger, but it isn't massive. The Brawler's Glove though, I really like as well, because if you have Infinity Edge, that alone gives you 20% crit. Infinity Edge doubles to 10%. It's something that most people haven't really clocked yet because we just don't build crit that much, so there's like no chance to use it. When you have Infinity Edge and Rapid Fire Cannon, for example, that is 60% crit. You add a Brawler's Glove in, and for 400 gold, you get up to 80% crit. It does also help with getting components for Zeal and stuff, but I like this change because of that reason. Getting an extra 20% crit for 400 gold is so good. In the jungle, we have 2 top tier champions getting hit as well. Probably means we're going to see more Graves, more Kindred, more Xin Zhao again if these aren't as good. So Nocturne's base AD has been lowered by 3, his ultimate AD ratio lowered by 30%. Considering how much AD you stack on Nocturne, it kind of sucks, but then you still have this massive window to use it in with the blind lasting forever. It is obviously going to hurt though, and especially if you're better at Nocturne and you use your Q just before you land, you would get your bonus AD from the Q trail underneath you, which would increase your ultimate damage as far as I'm aware, so that part would be weaker from items and your Q. He is still going to be a sick jeweler though, control crab well, farm well, he just won't be able to one-shot as easily. I don't think it's like that bad, but it will make card carrying a game yourself just a little bit harder. Tilia is the other change, so Q cooldown increased by 2 seconds, rank 1, same rank 5 when you maxed it out, and your passive move speed has been nerfed at lower levels. Lowering her early power here for sure, like not gonna farm as well or spam as easily in the jungle, and Tilia's farming for a mage, remember, is next level nuts, so that is what they're aiming to hit. If you think about it though, your move's slower between the camps now, your move's slower in general going into gangster stuff, but having your Q on a lower cooldown to start the game means you'll end up taking more damage as well as being slower. It also lowers her dueling power a little bit, so it's gonna hit like kind of both of those areas, her jungling and her dueling. The good thing about this though is that you do max it first, so you won't feel it for that long in the game. It really is early focus. It's there to make sure your early game farming is a little bit weaker, you're gonna take more damage, your fighting maybe a little bit weaker, but then back to normal mid game. So the last thing is to Aatrox, and most people probably don't know this, but he got micro buffed after 8.13 started because he was too weak. That was about a week ago. A little bit more base health, Q did a little bit more damage, E healed for more and dashed further, reset your basic attack timer, and your ultimate cooldown was lowered. Even with all of those, it wasn't enough, so they're buffing his Q again, but this time making it easier to land. The first Q will be longer, so you don't have to be as close to start a fight, and it'll be easier to chase somebody. The second Q will be wider though, and longer, making it way harder to dodge now, even though the sweet spot for extra damage is going to be the same size. He's definitely not like the best champion ever. It's not like the trash tier champion that he was at release either though. Once people learn how to use the new kit a little more, I think he will be better. He does suffer from the same problems as Riven though, who would have thought with a similar kit. Give him a bunch of items and stuff and he will do some serious damage, but in this meta, we need champions who can be more effective at like 1 to 2 items. Moving on to stuff for 8.14 now, so this will be stuff coming in a few weeks. Fizz is the major change. They're getting his W reworked. The passive is going to be the same. Attacks bleed enemies over 3 seconds, so that part is still there. The active is going to be next basic attack deals bonus magic damage, and if that active kills a target, it refunds mana and resets the cooldown to 1 second. But if it doesn't kill the target, the new part, Fizz gains on-hit magic damage for 6 seconds, and also the overall cooldown has been lowered by 3 seconds. So basically, there is no longer a mark system that lasts for 6 seconds, and it no longer deals triple damage to a marked target. The burst is obviously going to be lower with that, but the damage after that will be higher if you could keep auto-attacking. I think it's going to hurt his overall damage, but at the same time, you don't have to wait for the mark anymore to charge up before you can kind of dive in and nuke somebody. So Fizz will feel a lot different in a full-on fight, and he can't nuke people as much in one go. Maybe we're going to see some like tank rage bait Fizz coming in after this. I doubt would be the best build ever, but it'd probably work now if you're giving him some on-hit. Now, Ghost Burrow and Zombie Ward are both as well getting reworked, kind of slightly like mini reworks. So Ghost Burrow to start with, when you enter a brush, your trinket will now change to a Ghost Burrow. And first off, what if I want to sweep the bush like while I'm in it? That sounds like a really bad idea and annoying when you want to actually use your current trinket if it's been removed to swap to Ghost Burrow, but whatever. So when it swaps, you can then use that to place a Porro at your feet, which will provide vision for 5 minutes or until you place a new one. The biggest change here though is probably while you or the Ghost Porro is in enemy territory, so I'm guessing like in the enemy's half of the map, you gain 5 to 20 adaptive stats, so AD or AP. So not only now do you have control over the Porro, you can place it properly, you can pick the bush that you leave it in when you invade or something, you actually gain more combat stats as well. I actually like this though, it makes it way more competitive to take it. I think it's actually pretty good. So also Zombie Ward as well, kind of the same, but it has a bit more to it. So when you destroy an enemy ward, it causes a friendly one to still appear that lasts for 2 minutes. That is pretty normal. After destroying one though, the next time you damage an enemy champion, you deal a bonus 30 to 90 30 extra damage. To put that into perspective, by the way, a Scorch, you know, the rune in sorcery, does a bonus 20 to 60 damage. So this is pretty good. It definitely gives you more reason to like stomp wards, to go like hunting for them and try and get them down and try to fight after to use that damage. Also, zombie ward right now scales a little bit with the duration. So they last 30 seconds going up to 2 minutes based on your level. This doesn't seem to scale at all. It is just a flat 2 minutes. That is really weird though, because it started off lasting 3 minutes when it was first introduced in season 8. That was busted, so they introduced the scaling system, then even nerfed the scaling more to bring it down. And now they've gone back to lasting just 2 minutes straight away, which makes it so much better in my opinion, and it gives you bonus damage. It seems like a major buff, which I don't really get. This was one of the runes that was kind of overpowered for a very long time at the start of season, at least at high reload, and they just made it stronger again. It's proper weird. Finally, in domination, it looks like all of the stacking runes at the bottom of the tree were buffed slightly. So all of them revolve around the bounty hunter stacks, right? The first time you get a takedown on them, you get a stack of whatever it is, whatever you've taken, and you need all 5 unique champions to max that out. Now for each stack, you get a bonus 80 gold as well. So over the course of a game, a bonus 400 gold in your pocket just for taking the rune. It's kind of insane getting a first blood worth of gold extra for free just for taking a rune that already gives you something pretty good. I know it sort of like trickles in over the game and stuff, but as a jungler, you can get those pretty easily. And if you have 5 kills, for example, it'll be like you actually have 6. That was not my best example, but you get the idea, right? It seems like Domination Tree is getting a good set of buffs for 8.14. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is 8.13b, remember, and also some stuff at 8.14. Let me know what your favorite change was. Come watch the stream if you want to win the headset as well. Good luck to everybody, but for now, I will leave you with the robots.